Free will is a myth. Religion is a joke. We are all pawns, controlled by something greater. Memes.
In the ultimate battle of man versus Stickman, however, memes are everything. Wait, isn't that a Metal Gear reference?
Henry Stickmin. This is Markiplier.
One day, in the middle of nowhere, a stick figure walked up to a bank intending to rob it.
And that felony ended up causing a chain reaction, creating one of the greatest anti-heroes of all time. A name so legendary it sends shivers down the spine of any Newgrounds fan who hears it. Henry Stickman. Okay, so not that legendary of a name, but still, Henry is a pretty badass guy.
Henry has a long history of getting into jams and weird situations. Thankfully, he has the ability to just do whatever the f he wants out of nowhere. Need a gun, laser, sword, portal gun, hammer, he can just pull straight out of his ass with his hammer space. And that's before mentioning his weirder shit.
A scooter with more attachments than you can shake a Stickman at. A killer hamster ball that can rear up like a hedgehog. Power armor ripped straight out of Fallout. Mario's Mega Mushroom. Missing No from a previous episode. And the teleporter that never works. Reminds me of one of my coworkers.
In no particular order, a printer that can turn him into paper, a device that turns him into a shadow, a device that makes him into water, a magic pencil that can draw creatures, a gravity inverter, a bike that lets him corrupt the entire game.
JFK blown away, what else do I have to say? Henry's wide arsenal is powerful, but that has led him into some trouble with several crime syndicates, Canadian prisons, and even the United States military.
Fortunately, he has shown himself to be rather skilled as a fighter, keeping out with many of those Stickman in battles. He's lifted large objects like tents pretty casually, punched helicopters hard enough to send them over the horizon, and he can just scream hard enough to blow up a space station.
Helping is that he also has a wide assortment of strange powers accumulated over the years. He can bend earth and metal, create electricity, use a JoJo stand to swap objects' locations, elemental magic such as ice, and even perform Captain Falcon's signature moves. Though he's had some difficulties with his powers. With all those fails, you'd be surprised he gets anywhere at all.
Well, as it turns out, these fails aren't just funny non-canon events. Henry Stickman is, in fact, a dimensional anomaly who is able to freely hop between timelines and reset until he gets the outcome he wants.
Those outcomes can range from being a top agent for the military with his best buds, to becoming a leader of the sinister Stopback clan, firing orbital lasers at Earth from space. Henry's done basically everything there is to do, though that may be in part due to his on and off intelligence.
Though I guess anyone would if they could rewind saves and end up in different timelines altogether. Probably makes it hard to keep track of everything.
He saved the world just as many times as he destroyed it. Whatever Henry's true allegiances are, you better hope you're on his side. Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Fiction Fights.
Identity theft is a serious crime fic.
Oh yeah, and so is piracy. Anyways, good old Mark Fishbach is a name you probably know. He's the king of FNAF, the king of the squirrels, the king of, well, a lot actually. But the point stands, there's nothing Markiplier can't do. Even romance.
Yeah, this won't be looking at the real life dude or any other notable skit series he's had, but rather we'll be focusing specifically on his portrayal in the Adventures with Markiplier interactive movies.
In this universe, Markiplier is still a gamer by any name, but his side hobbies are less iron lung and more iron bars, as he ventured to a famous museum with no discernible name to steal a box of unimaginable proportions.
This box is a temporal anomaly that has many different potential functions. It can turn into a monkey statue that says to you, with fairies which can grant wishes, a time machine, or an orbital laser strike, Jesus fucking Christ.
But its most useful tool is its ability to travel to other timelines, as Markiplier isn't just limited to the heist. In one timeline, he's a noir detective on an intergalactic bounty. In another, he's fighting his evil persona on a date. And despite how different they all seem, they're all one and the same due to the most ridiculous invention made since sliced bread. The warp core.
Developed by a version of him who worked as a starship engineer, the warp core is a powerful device which is able to create a massive wormhole. This is able to affect every alternate universe and if not shut down, would have destroyed all of them eventually.
Fortunately for Mark, the warp core lets him pick up where he left off in the event that he dies, meaning he has the ability to jump right back into battle as many times as he wants. Or at least until the core destroys the entirety of existence.
Beyond these dimensional warping objects, Mark doesn't tend to utilize much of an arsenal. He has basically a decent chunk of weaponry from guns to bombs to various melee weapons, but he surprisingly isn't packing that much weird shit as his far thinner opponent.
He makes up for it though by being really tough. He survived negative 200-degree temperatures, a star-level reactor, several laser blasts, all within 5 minutes of each other. Makes sense when you looked at him. Dude is jacked. No wonder he has no fans.
Yeah, he does have the charisma of his actor's standard persona, though he also tends to share plenty of Markiplier's less than savory traits. He can let his anger get to his head, can be rather impatient in situations where he really ought not to be, and has tendency to just wing it instead of making a big detail fan. Despite
this, Makimu is a loose cannon just waiting to go off. And as always, he will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!
We're totally getting sued one of these days.
Aha, there it is. The ultimate flash drive. Who knows what illustrious secrets it could contain? To get such a treasure, I have to be really sneaky. Like a mouse. Hey! You can't just steal what I was about to steal! That's not fair! Listen, man, you do you, and I do me, and we won't do each other. Probably. Ah! There goes my Sunday evening plans. Joke's on you, Stickman. Dirtbags are prepared for anything. Man, the range on this is crazy. Where the hell did that go? Surprised? Don't be. Us thieves are always tricky. Plus, you aren't the only guy with teleportation. What? Did you think you could stop me? I'm the owner of 5 ovens. I am the king of minimum wage labor. I can die as many times as I want, and I'll still be here.
Stickmin!
Damn it. The warp core. How convenient. Now I can blast your ass across time and space! Alright. Alright, you wanna play like that? Oh, I'm so boned. Hey, man. Let's let bygones be bygones. In fact, here, let's split the reward. And if we get caught, we can always stay together and sing show tunes in prison. You asshole!
Guess you can say Henry fiction the fight.
That doesn't even make sense.
On the surface, Mark's generally better luck, durability, and resurrection would make this fight seem pretty cut and dry. However, Henry had all the tools he needed to take the victory. While Mark was generally more durable than him, Henry was way stronger, meaning the advantage wasn't actually going to be that much of help to begin with. And considering the fact that both reacted from everything to bullets to laser fire, neither would realistically be able to win a quick draw.
Additionally, there really was no question that Henry had Mark beaten his sheer versatility. Both have shown the ability to bring just whatever they want out of nowhere, but Henry simply had a far greater variety of tools to use, both in terms of standard weapons Mark was packing and in forms of more weird stuff that he wasn't, like time machines. But the fact both had ways to come back to life indefinitely meant this was not ending with just a single encounter.
Now, most of you are wondering how Henry and Mark would be able to bypass the other's immortality, as the warp core would consistently bring back Mark, and Henry was an anomaly. In completing the mission, Henry and his friend Ellie are being harassed by these two government guys in a helicopter he's never met. Henry decides to go back in time, find the two at a bad moment, and messes things up for them, so they'll never get hired in the first place, and then return to the situation as if nothing happened. If he was able to do that with two random military guys, there is no doubt in my mind that he'd be able to find the warp core and disable it, leaving Mark empty-handed.
On the other hand, Markiplier didn't really have a reliable way of countering Henry's resets. While the warp core being able to wipe out all of the timelines could potentially take Henry down, not only was this implied to be a fairly lengthy process, there's not really anything suggesting Mark would be able to survive this himself. Other characters like Darkiplier or Warpstash could be argued as having this level of power, but there's really not a solid reason to assume this Markiplier scales them, and there are far too different character-wise to assume there are versions of him that are usable for a composite either.
Finally, Henry had plenty of ways to end the fight without even having to kill Mark, bypassing the immortality altogether. Sure, Mark is tough, but no amount of durability can bypass being transmuted into a shadow or into water. In the end, Mark didn't just have any options to counter these. Looks like Henry had to stick it to the man.
This fiction fight's winner is Henry Stickman.